Water is Water by Miranda Paul, illustrated by Jason Chin. Water is Water, a book about the water cycle. Drip, sip, pour me a cup. Water is water, unless it heats up. Whirl, swirl, watch it curl by. Steam is steam, unless it cools high. A dragon in a wagon? A crow kneading dough? Clouds are clouds, unless they form low. Misty, twisty, where's the town? Fog is fog, unless it falls down. Patter, splatter, what is that sound? Rain is rain, unless on the ground. Slosh and galoshes, splash to your knees. Puddles are puddles, unless puddles freeze. Glide, slide, put on the brakes. Ice is ice, unless it forms flakes. Pack, stack, shape it, and smack. Snow is snow, unless spring comes back. All that snow is melting, coming down in a little creek into the pond. Creep, seep, squish in your boots. Mud is mud, unless there are roots. Swig, grow big, reach for the best. Apples are apples, unless they get pressed. Drip, sip, pour me a cup. Cider is cider, until we drink it up. So many different ways that water can be. Water moves and changes often, just like children. Also like people, each drop of water travels its own unique path. This story shows only some of many creative ways that water moves and changes over the season. Although the characters in the book sometimes heat up, drink, or play with water, nature usually moves and transforms water all by itself through the water cycle. In Water is Water, a cup of water begins its cycle as a liquid, but then it heats up. The white swirl that rises above a boiling pot or cup of cocoa is still water, but we call it steam. It will become an invisible gas in the air. Did you know that the sun, not people, heats up most water without forming swirls of visible steam and turns it into a gas? Whichever way it happens, this process is called evaporation. It cools high. As an invisible gas, water is called vapor. Once vapor reaches cooler air, often high in the sky, vapors form clouds. This is called condensation. They form low. When water vapor cools and condenses close to the ground, the clouds that form are called fog. Fog is not as common as high-flying clouds and plays a very small part in the water cycle. Bus drivers must be thankful for that. It falls down. Once water droplets inside any cloud become too heavy, they fall down as precipitation. Though rare, water droplets in fog can drip or drizzle down, but most precipitation comes from higher clouds. Whenever water falls down from a cloud as liquid, it's called rain. On the ground, water that moves on top of the ground is called runoff, which often collects in puddles, lakes, rivers, and oceans. Puddles freeze. When the temperature drops below a certain point, water turns into its solid form called ice. It forms flakes. Snow is made in the sky when bits of ice form crystals around specks of dust or pollen. As they fall, vapors freeze and stick to each crystal to make flakes. Spring comes back. When temperatures warm up, the snowmelt runs off into streams and rivers. Along the way, some water mixes with dirt to make mud. There are roots. Seepage happens when water creeps down from the top of the dirt into small spaces underground. When plants' roots absorb this water, it's called uptake. This helps them grow and produce fruit. They get pressed. Although apples are solid, the water inside makes them plump and juicy. Squeezing them releases the liquid. We drink it up. Did you know that you are mostly made of water? Drink up water every day to stay as amazing as you already are. And I just love these facts. An apple is about 84% water. Earthworms are about 80% water. An oak tree is about 75% water. A cat is about 80% water. You are about 65% water. So that means if you weighed 100 pounds, 65 of those pounds would be water. A turtle is about 70% water. A garter snake is about 74% water. And a baby is 78% water. Water is everywhere. Water covers 71% of the Earth's surface, so most of it. Of all the water in the world, oceans hold 96.5% of it, which is all salt water, which we can't really drink. Of all the fresh water in the world, more than 69% is trapped as ice and snow, and 30% is underground. And the water in the clouds, puddles, mud, plants in your cup doesn't even add up to 1% of our total fresh water supply. So that's not very much, which means we have to take really good care of it. Water may seem to appear and disappear, but the total amount of water on Earth hasn't changed in millions of years and will stay the same for millions more. Although water changes form and gets called by different names, new water is not created and old water is not destroyed. But that doesn't mean we should take water for granted. In fact, people can only drink way less than 1% of the water on Earth. Almost every time we use water to brush our teeth, take a bath, or flush a toilet, we add things that make it dirty. It is important to conserve it so there is safe, clean water for everyone. And that is the end of our story.